Hello, good evening. My name is Eliana Cruz, and this is the video that was requested for assignment number 5 of grammar. I chose the sentence number 11, and it says, "The poor elderly woman was unable to leave the building safely." This sentence has 3 adjectives: poor, elderly, and unable. I will talk about the classification of the adjectives and the characteristics of each of them, okay, according to the form, the role, the gradability, the inherence, and also about centrality. In the case of the first adjective, that is poor, it's a kind of simple adjective because it's short, it has just one syllable, and it hasn't any special affix. But in the case of the syntactic role, it's a kind of attributive adjective because it's written before the main noun, that is woman. According to the gradability, it's a gradable adjective because it can be preceded or pre-modified by the intensifier very, and it has also the possibility or the ability to have comparative, and superlative forms. The type of adjective poor in this sentence is qualitative because it defines directly to the main noun woman. That's stativity. It's also a characteristic of this adjective because it's stative, because it's defined a permanent state of the person. You know, the woman is poor, and that's not like it doesn't have the possibility to be questioned. Sorry, I'm quite lost. Yes, it is in fact a permanent condition. She is poor, and according to the inherence, it is an inherent adjective because it describes literally the. I will explain it in a few minutes, but the inherence in this adjective could be, in my opinion, it could be inherent and also non-inherent according to the to what the speaker pretends. We can't know when we read just one sentence what is his or her intention. We don't know, or we can't know if the woman is actually poor because she doesn't have money or economic resources, or if the word poor pretends to show pity, in the intention of the speaker. So that's why I think, in my opinion, it could be inherent and non-inherent. In the case of the centrality of this adjective, it's a central adjective because it could occupy or be part of the attributive, like the poor woman, and also the predicative. The woman is poor, or the woman was poor. The second adjective I will describe is elderly. As in this case, the form of this adjective is derived because it's the product of adding the suffix li or y, and as the same as poor, it's an attributive adjective because it describes directly the main noun or the main subject of the sentence, and it's also gradable because it can be pre-modified too by the intensifier very, and also has the ability of of having a superlative and comparative form. But in the case of inherence and type, it is also a qualitative adjective, because it gives us, sorry, I got lost again. Its description is like exact, you know. It's describing the age of the woman, and it's an stative adjective because it also describes a permanent state of the person, you know, because it's a permanent condition, her age. And also about the centrality, it is a central adjective too. It can be part of the attributive and also the predicative, according to if the woman is elderly or the elderly woman. This adjective elderly is also inherent because the intention of the speaker is to describe directly this quality of the woman. And finally, we have the adjective unable. In this case, on the other hand of elderly, we have a kind of adjective that is that has a suffix, a prefix, you know, the negative prefix on, that show us the predicative role. In fact, it's after the verb was unable to leave the building safely. In this case, unable is not a gradable kind of adjective because it doesn't have the ability to be pre-modified by very, you know. We cannot say very unable. People are unable or are able. So that's why it's not gradable. As the same as the classification according to the type of the adjective is a classifying adjective because it shows or it represents the lack of a capacity. So that's why it's an adjective that classifies and not that qualifies the person, in this case the woman. It is also an stative adjective because as it says here, it tells about a stable capacity or state that particular moment. So it's like it doesn't have any doubt, and the subject doesn't have the option. Okay, it doesn't have voluntary was the explanation because there's no any kind of behavior that could change or that could change that situation. Okay, she is an unable person. And according to the inherence, it is also an inherent adjective because it offers a characterization of the woman in a direct way. It talks or it speaks mainly about her ability or her capacity, and the final description or the final classification about the centrality, this adjective unable has a peripheral centrality on opposition, and that's why it it is also possible to place in the predicative because of the location after the verb to be in the past form. Okay, was unable. Okay. According to the last question idea requested, were in my opinion the most challenging or hard to solve this assignment concept of the unit was the inherence of the adjectives. Because as I told before, for example, in the case of this sentence, I understood like inherence depends on the intention of the speaker or the writer. As I told, poor could be read or could be understood as an inherent adjective, and also as a non-inherent adjective. And I think that this kind of I don't know how to say ambiguity, sorry, is what results challenging. Maybe I'm wrong, because I tried to talk about this to a classmate, but we couldn't meet. So, but well, this is what I found more like difficult, you know, to analyze in the sentence and to express, you know. In fact, I searched some videos about inherent, sorry, and that's what I understood. I think I got the concept clear, but when we need to analyze and to find and classify, I find it quite hard. Okay, thank you. I'm sorry because I'm really nervous, but well, this is my video for the assignment. Bye.